Good morning, beautiful souls. Happy Friday. Week 15. And today I'm presenting to you from the realm of wet bums, which is not my usual woodland place, but I've come out under equipped and I'm soaking wet. So this might be a little bit shorter than normal, depending on what the weather's going to do. I've already used my hat to wipe the seat, so happy days. So I want to talk a little bit today about, it's almost turning into a bit of a kind of like a weekly update, almost like a counter narrative, so to speak, isn't it? There's, again, my Facebook, when I've looked at it, the news feed has been filled with emotion, filled with expressions of either outrage or paradoxically unconditional love. We seem to kind of ping pong or yo-yo between the two depending on our point of focus. And so again, I'm going to be looking at today is how, how on the ball are we at the moment, how in tune with the energies that we are building with. Are we building, or are we getting our Lego set halfway into the state of construction and knocking it down again? There are indeed many aspects of our current civilization that need our focus and attention. We need to be looking at it, and we need to be looking at it in a way that we can build, we can improve, that we can maybe at the moment, if we were gardeners, I know I've spoken before about the Lemurians and their foundation building. That's happening on an energy level all around us. Okay, so the foundations have been dug, they've been concreted, the brickwork's starting to come into place. This has been happening for the last decade and is beginning to accelerate now. The wall, the actual construction is in process, but our job is to anchor the energy. Yes, the souls of the higher realms are incredibly capable of tuning in, anchoring into us, allowing their higher perspective, their wisdom to flow through us via either, say, maybe anchoring into crystals or into the aspects of our higher minds, if and when they're available. Now, that higher mind is a hotly contested, it's a prize at the moment, and the two teams that are contesting for our higher minds are us and the 3D matrix. So I'm gonna have to break this down as simply as I possibly can, or the simplicity with which I am seeing it. The focus of our attention, our intention, therefore the creational beginnings of our manifestation, are one of the most powerful tools that are available at the moment, and the fuel behind it is either ego or love. So that's kind of what we're mixing up the mortar with, the ingredients that we're putting into our focus, our intention, and therefore our manifestation. What are we mixing into the cement mixture, or maybe if you like baking, the cake mixture, whatever takes your fancy? What ingredients are we putting in there? Because the second we add that particular ingredient, it then becomes the projection or the structural foundation of what we are creating, what we're building, what we're looking at together. Now, we've all discussed before, either live or in kind of group chats or on videos, just what a beautiful gift social media has been to you and I, and to all of us listening to this together. You are listening to me via the power and the medium of Vimeo, Facebook and YouTube. Okay, now Vimeo, some of you might not be quite so familiar with, but Facebook and YouTube, we all know what they are. Now, as with the majority of things within our reach and the context of our reality at the moment, it can either be light or it can be dark. Now, I firmly believe, and this isn't just a conspiracy theory, that the original intention behind social media was to act as a tool to harvest energy, to harvest information, and it was probably created with the consciousness behind it of drawing people in, getting people kind of like hooked and addicted, and in many cases that's what's happened. But look at how we've all begun to communicate with each other around the world. And when I first started doing this in 2012, Facebook had been up and running, YouTube was up and running, but it hadn't gone through the steps of bringing us all together on a global level as we are now. The unity of consciousness and the power to transfer high frequency information is literally at the tips of our fingers. So every day we use our iPhones, our Samsungs, our Androids or whatever, probably quite unaware of the fact that you're holding a supercomputer in your hand, despite the fact that some of it is like maybe a little bit censored. If you know what you're doing with it and you're looking for the right stuff, then you will receive exactly what you need for it. And social media, particularly the creation of Facebook, is wholly responsible for an absolute explosion, or so I say, like a wildfire of light consciousness connecting and spreading around the planet. So and that's just another little indication of how, you know, these nefarious plans are drawn up, and we can see them popping up around a bit like popcorn in the microwave kind of thing. But inevitably, we always hijack and use it for ourselves, and then it becomes a tool for the light. But the distractions are coming thick and fast at the moment, and they're big. Okay, now what I want to look at is the area of polarity that we are currently in, because as I said in the last video, the application of light reveals the darkness, and we're going to see this throughout 2023. 2023 is going to be revelations, the revealing. Okay, so we are going to, with ultimate clarity, see the things that have been hidden, or that maybe that we knew about that others couldn't see. And, you know, we're then given the option of kind of prancing around going, told you so, or we can just kind of wear it and continue to work and do what we do best. But at the moment, we're going to be seeing more and more of, and in some cases, I believe they may be a little bit deliberate, these inclusions of shocking revelations within our sight. It's going to come through the news, it's going to come through the media, it's going to come through the screen of your iPhone, and in many cases it's going to be like almost you're going to feel you're going to see and feel the hairs on your arms standing up, and you're going to go, I knew it, I told you so. You know, like this is what I've been feeling all along. But then how does that energy get used? How does it get harnessed? How does it get focused? What is the end creation of the sharing of whatever it is? How does it then go into the process? What aspect or what ingredient of the cake mixture is getting mixed in for the next phase of the creation? What are we doing with the information? Okay, so this might sound like, again, stuff that you already know, stuff that I've probably covered many times on this channel, but until we get a full handle on how to use what we're being presented with, or not use it as the case may be, this is something that we're going to be, it's going to be on a rinse and a repeat cycle. So it's just going to keep on coming up, especially while it works. So what is the point of the anger behind the emotions that we feel about the revelations. There's one thing that we should never do, and that's ignore our anger, ignore the signals within our body, ignore our feelings. But at the level and the phase and the kind of I'd say the majority of us are advanced shadow workers now. We've done enough seeing within ourselves and enough of that really tough, grindy work to be on top of how we are processing things. Now, many of us have had experiences that we will be able to associate with the things that we are seeing, and that will be very triggering. Again, that then boils down to how much work have we personally done, how much assistance have we looked for, how have we either shared or dealt with the things that we have personally experienced in order for us to actually be successful, grounded, strong-minded creators on this planet. So what we've seen this week, and I'm not going to mention the scenario, most of you who know what I'm talking about, again, we are being shown public figures either in a state of light or in a state of darkness, regardless of how you view or even feel about the situation. In many cases, again, I always refer to how would an angel view the scenarios that we're being shown. Now, despite the fact that you might think that the angelics are like way up there, something, like sat upon a fluffy cloud, looking despairingly down on planet Earth, thinking, poor Earthlings, like what are they going through now? The majority of them are far, far more connected to the goings on this planet than you might imagine. Say, for sake of example, your guardian angel has accompanied you for every single step of your journey since the actual creation of your soul, which is a long, long time ago. So from planet to planet, from realm to realm, to dimensional space to situation, you have shared space with your guardian angel, who has also grown alongside you. So how do you feel that they view the situations that we are being seen? Maybe you think it's a bit easier for them because they don't actually have that personalized badge of honor that you get when you come down to planet Earth, and you'd be right on that front. But where we're going with the fifth dimensional frequencies, where we're heading, the trajectory, is we are going to be in a state where we will obviously, even at a fifth dimensional level, witness things that are triggering, because life in physical will never be completely perfect. Even back in Atlantis, even in the golden era, accidents happened. The chance or calling in the lesson, or anything that can just generally occur from everyday life, these things happen. So we're always going to have that playing field whilst we're in physical. We're always going to have the potential for us to be tested. So by the time we get into that, very much that heart-centeredness, we are going to be expected to be far more not impartial, not resilient to it all, but to be reacting and to be observing and to be forming our base of action based on the heart center rather than the triggers of the ego. Now, that's not a beratement of human beings and where we are at the moment. We are being offered a choice, okay? There is always a choice on how we react or how we respond to something. Even when it's given to us at a moment's notice, when we've had no warning whatsoever, and maybe the information and what you are being presented with comes crashing through the boundaries of your consciousness, there is always a choice as to how we respond. And there is always a choice as whether we indulge ourselves in how much of the emotional state that we're plunged into, or whether we step back, move into the heart center and begin to work through to find out what precisely is working on our emotional triggers and what is actually how we are truly and sincerely feeling at the time. So just be aware that this movement, again, and I'm speaking again about this transit of the march of Pluto. It doesn't seem that the planets just move gently through their heavenly states anymore. They march, they crash. The period of time that we are embracing at the moment is designed to be nothing short of and I used this term the last time, a demolition of the third dimensional structures that do not align with a heart-centered frequency. So in many cases we have got to release, we've got to let go, we've got to say goodbye to the things that are not transferable. Now think of when I say that, think of the things in your life that you can use and you can still embrace in 5D. Your health, your education, the way that you view your spiritual focus. I mean, your spiritual focus could be anywhere. You might feel a particular alignment to Atlantis, or you might be aligned to the fifth dimensional aspect and the energies of the Norse gods, and that's something that's coming through very strongly for me at the moment. Or you might be remembering your lifetimes in ancient Egypt or South America or Greece, or you might be feeling an upsurge of that really powerful Christ energy that's coming through a lot of people at the moment. A lot of this is coming up, there's a lot of stuff to be coming up to be cleared. The Atlantean timeline is still very much up for grabs on a clearance level. As soon as you can feel an emotion such as maybe pain, fear, a memory, an expression, a hurt that's associated with a past life memory, that's being revealed from your Akashics to be cleared. Okay, now, and I've probably mentioned this, a lot of us are now working from the Halls of Amenti. Now, the Halls of Amenti, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, there's plenty of information on my website, www.timwild.com. But the Halls of Amenti and the Akashic Records, for the intents and purposes of where we are at the moment, are two separate places. The information I've received, and you can take this or leave it if you want to, is that the Akashic Records stopped recording at a third dimensional frequency on the cosmic moment, the 21st of December 2012, because Earth became fourth dimensional overnight from the next day onwards, the 22nd of December 2012, or from the cosmic moment onwards. So all of the old archives of your past life experiences, the majority of them will have been rooted in some kind of trial, some kind of suffering that would have brought you through that third dimensional experience. So where we retrieve our gifts, our talents, our memories and our spiritual heritage from, that's recorded at a higher level. That's recorded almost in, like, if you're going to put it in compartments, the 5D levels, and higher up, based in the Halls of Amenti. And so many of us are beginning to retrieve that now, but the triggers are always the past life memories. So it's almost like you have to go through the painful door in order to open you up to actually receiving what you have put away for yourself to be retrieved in the now moment. So much is coming back through, but I'm going to kind of go back round in a circle to where I was at the start. There are so many distractions being placed out there at the moment. A lot of them are lifestyle distractions. Say in the UK, we've got like this hoo-ha about all of the cameras being put up, I can't help but feel that is just simply something to drain our energy, to take our eyes away from the prize again, get us angry, get us worried about it, get us cutting cables and making a fuss. And obviously we need to be discussing this. We need to be mounting a heart-centered lack of what would be the best way to do it? Lack of cooperation. Okay, heart-centered uncooperative behavior is pretty much where we are all at. But again, there has to be a use for the anger at a fifth dimensional frequency. It has to be done. I think I've made a dog friend. It has to be used in a way that we can harness it and turn it into a heart-centered production. if that makes sense. So everything and anything that is going to be coming at you, use your heart to analyze it, to break it down, to see your version of the truth behind it. But if it is based in anger, outrage, all of the other base emotions that we have going through us due to the triggers that we might not have dealt with at this particular time, sharing it spreads the fire further. So again, if you're going to pull that bowstring back and you're going to fire that arrow, make sure that the target is going to be filled with love rather than an explosion of anger, as is being shared all around social media at the moment. We are in charge of this shift, okay? It might come across that there are beings in positions around this world who have maneuvered themselves into these like throne-like states due to their financial superiority, but make no mistakes, you cannot take that energy into the fifth dimension. It is us that is running we are running the show, and we run the show via our heart-centered creations. The only thing that can halt that or kind of knock it off course is being distracted. So eyes on the prize. And talking of eyes on the prize, one of the most beautiful places that I'm spending my time in at the moment is the heart of Asgard, and I'm joining Lavisa Alvtorn tomorrow, and I'm going to be going with Donny Amoris tomorrow to the heart of Asgard, and we are going to be having a wonderful workshop. It's starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, so this is on Zoom, and we are going to be getting together, starting the workshop. Everybody's joining 9 o'clock UK time, and it's going to be fun. So if you feel like joining us, please feel free to do so. The details are below in the text underneath this video, and I'll see you there if you're coming along. Lots of love. Back on Monday. Bye for now.